Wrapping up Sunday as usual here at the desk of Football Night in America, Rodney Harrison, Tony Dungy, Mike Tirico. And I made a joke during the Eagles-Saints game that the Eagles should have to surrender their Lombardi trophy to the Saints. Eagles fans either didn't get the joke, didn't appreciate it, or both. But my goodness, the Saints, we may as well just give them the next Lombardi trophy.
That's not true, Mike. That's not true. Because all it takes really is one injury to a keeper. And I'm not trying to be negative or anything
somebody.
like that.
Who are you jinxing?
Nobody. I'm just saying, I've been around the league a long time. I understand all it takes is one injury. But I give a lot of credit to the Saints offensive line, Coach. I think that's really been the difference. Drew Brees, it seems like every year he's putting up 4,000 yards and he's having great years. But really, this offensive line has been a difference.
No, they have, but your point is well taken. We still haven't gotten to December yet, so we can't hand out trophies. New Orleans is playing great, but we do know that Tampa went in there and scored 48 points and beat them in a one-game knockout. You never know. But I have not seen a team play offense at this level like the Saints are doing in a long, long time.
We've gone through stretches this year, haven't we, Tony? Think about the start of the season, and boy, Mahomes in Kansas City, wow. And then the Rams, okay, the Rams had a couple of tests, and they passed them with high-scoring games, and now New Orleans is in the midst of that stretch. And I love what Sean Payton and Drew Brees together for so long have done, because the receiving core is not the guys who litter fantasy football teams right now, other than Thomas. They've had to find other ways to do it. They are spreading the ball. They've got to be a nightmare to defend. I love watching them. Can't wait to see them in person.
We've talked so much about either Patrick Mahomes or Todd Gurley being the MVP. They play on Monday night, but at some point we have to take Drew Brees seriously as an MVP candidate. He's never won it.
You have to talk about Drew Brees, hitting 75% of his passes or more, putting up 40 points week in and week out, and he's playing lights-out football.
Those guys are really amazing, but my mouth drops when I watch Drew Brees play. I think he's an MVP right now.
I do the Notre Dame games with Doug Flutie, and we were driving to Yankee Stadium from Manhattan to call the Notre Dame-Syracuse game. We started talking about Drew Brees being in the same quarterback room in San Diego with Flutie and Phillip Rivers. Those guys we looked at, it's like 150,000 the 15,000 to get it right. 150,000, right, total yards. Yeah. Think about all the yards they've thrown for over their pro career. Three incredible guys who are together, and Brees keeps going as Rivers keeps going as well. He threw for over 400 yards this week. It's great to see these veteran quarterbacks still have the mastery of the game that the young guys are trying to find and figure out with these spread formations.
And I played with Drew Brees in 2001, and Mike, I never thought or even imagined that he would be on the level that he's on. He had a great work ethic. He was a smart guy. His teammates really respected him, but to sit back and say that he was one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play and he's still going at a high level, I never would have pictured that, Mike.
And, you know, not long ago we were saying the Saints are great, but look at the schedule that's still to come. Some of those teams not looking as potent as they were a couple of weeks ago, but the Cowboys getting it together. They've got a game with the Saints coming up next Thursday after Thanksgiving. Right. Cowboys seem to be figuring it out. Are we believers in the Cowboys now as legitimate?
I believe they are, and the reason is they're getting back to their formula. We heard Ezekiel Elliott, you talked to him, the offensive line. They're coming back. They're playing dominant football. That's taking the pressure off Dak Prescott. And that defense, Rodney, they fly around.
Yeah, and that's what I've been trying to tell you. This defense is good enough to go to the Super Bowl. I'm not talking about they're going to the Super Bowl, but the defense, I think the defensive line is very, very solid. DeMarcus Lawrence being outstanding. The two linebackers, and I think their secondary is definitely good enough. But getting back to the focal point of that offense, and that's Ezekiel Elliott, Mike.
Rodney, to the point you were saying earlier about don't crown anyone just yet, we were sitting at the desk right before the Sunday night game last week. Dallas was off the Monday night loss to Tennessee. They're on the road. Philly's rested off the week after the win in London. There was no way Dallas was going to win this game. And then 1 week later, Washington has a quarterback injury. Dallas wins. Philly gets blown out. And all of a sudden, things look very different. You could honestly say right now, the Cowboys are in the best position to win the division. It's amazing how this league, every year, just like this, changes.
It just takes one injury.
Yeah. And it's amazing how many teams there are right now that are floating at or around 500 that we just don't have a lot of faith in. And Washington falls into that category now, even though they're 6-4 because of the quarterback injury. Do we believe that Washington can keep it going with Colt McCoy? Because they believe in Colt McCoy. They thought about making him the starter a couple of years ago when Kirk Cousins was due for his second franchise tag, and they almost went with McCoy at $3 million for the year instead of 24 for Cousins. Do you think he can get it done?
I think Colt McCoy can play well enough for them, but they've got to change their mindset. They've got to understand, hey, if we're going to win, we've got to run Adrian Peterson and play good defense. Colt McCoy will be fine. He won't be the reason we lose, but the rest of the group has to step up.
I disagree with you, Coach. I think that they can continue to open up the playbook, throw the ball down the field because, I mean, Alex Smith was what your boy Chris Sims called him, check down Charlie. So, I mean, I have a lot of confidence in him. I think he can run. I think he brings a level of excitement. I think they'll be fine with him.
We're all bummed for Alex. He's one of the great guys around football. I'm just sorry to see that injury happen. I saw Colt McCoy come in on a Monday night in Dallas, going back to Texas and win. Of course, he was a Texas Longhorn quarterback. There is that confidence in him that the team has. We don't have many teams that have a backup who's been with that team for a long time, is fully versed in the system, is comfortable on the field. I'll be very interested to watch how they play, and they have a short turnaround here playing Dallas on Thanksgiving.
Do you believe in Colt?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I really do. I don't think it'll be a drastic difference with their team. What I'm more worried about for them is their offensive line. You know, Trent Williams has been banged up. They've lost Sheriff. They've lost multiple guys up there. That's where my biggest concern lies for Washington.
And you know, with Alex Smith, he's still not even 35. It feels like he's been around forever, and I have complete faith that he'll get recovered, he'll be good to go, and he's still got plenty more years in the NFL. All right, everybody out there, have a great Thanksgiving. You'll see these three guys Thursday night in New Orleans for the Falcons-Saints game. I won't be there.
I'm very
happy about that.
You want to come join us, Mike?
No, thank you.
You sure?
No, I'm very happy.
Look at his sarcasm on his face.
Thanks, Mike. Happy Thanksgiving to you, too. We'll miss you.
We'll see y'all next week.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure to hit subscribe for the latest news and highlights from NBC Sports.